Wow. Chelsea get absolutely battered at the Amex 3-0 against Brighton. Just what a game. Honestly, I big up to everybody who was on the watch along. I wasn't doing it here on YouTube. I was doing it on TikTok. I'm going to start trying to figure out how to do both. I might start doing like a YouTube and a TikTok watch along together. We'll see how I go with that. But yeah, let's talk about that game because wow. Before I talk about Chelsea, I want to talk about Brighton first because coming off a 7-0 smashing against Nottingham Forest to beat Chelsea in two fixtures, score 5 goals and only concede just a shocker from the goalkeeper. It's honestly really, really good. And Brighton fans should be extremely happy at the bounce back that they've had. And look, I actually don't think the Brighton have had a very good season. Defensively, they've been shocking all season. For a team that spent as much money as they haven't been very good. But, it's honestly been a great week for them, beating Chelsea twice. And especially this most recent game. I mean, they just absolutely outplayed them in every single aspect of the game. Brighton outplayed Chelsea. Man of the match for me was Minter. I mean, he took his 2 goals exceptionally. Was just a threat the whole game. Really put a lot of pressure on Cucurella. Yeah, just it was unfortunate that he got hooked when he did and wasn't able to get his hat trick, but he was phenomenal. The two others that were in contention. First one is Balaba. He was, oh, that guy's special, and he's gonna get picked up by a big team soon. Just you wait. He's gonna be the next Brighton player to get picked up for a big fee by a big club. I'm talking 100 million because he's worth it. He absolutely dominated. I mean, he was having his way with Chelsea's midfield. He's coming up against Caicedo, who I actually thought had a pretty good game. If I'm being honest, he was probably Chelsea's least shit player. I'm not even gonna say best. He was probably their least shit player, but he put in a really really good performance. Balaba put in a really really good performance. Yeah, just really dominated. Was winning his duels. Was helping move Brighton forward when he could. He was excellent. And then Matoma. We got to talk about that goal. You can't talk about Matoma without talking about that goal because, oh my word, the ball over from Verbruggen, it he just fucking thumps it, and you should not be scoring in that situation. A goal kick, kicking the ball up to your fucking winger, who's level with the Chelsea high line between the two centre backs, to take a touch like that is ridiculous. Look at how high the ball was in the air. It was an unbelievable touch. He then sends Chalobah to the deepest pits of hell and goes and scores the goal. But now we got to move on to Chelsea because that's what everyone's going to be talking about. Chelsea. Oh my god. I didn't think it could get any worse than the game against Brighton. I thought honestly they were lucky it was only 2-1 if I'm being honest. And today Brighton could have scored 5 or 6. Brighton had the better quality chances that they didn't score. Like even if you take away the goals, I still think Brighton had much better chances than Chelsea. Cole Palmer had that 1v1 miss in the first half, but that was it. That was literally all Chelsea had. They I'll talk about their defense first because that's obviously the Matoma goal specifically. All 3 of the goals were avoidable. I mean, Chelsea's defense was shambolic. Colwill again wasn't great. Chalobah was quite poor. He's actually not been very good since he came back. He was good against Wolves, but every time I've watched him, he hasn't really been very good. Um, the fullbacks, I mean, I thought Malagusto played alright. Cucurella wasn't really able to deal with Minter very well. The other 2 goals as well, just very poor. They were very sort of scrappy goals that Minter was able to put in. Just they should have dealt with all 3 of the goals better. But that doesn't excuse the rest of the team because, as I said, Balaba dominated that midfield. I thought the midfield was okay for Chelsea. Like, Caicedo played alright. I thought that Fernandez didn't have a great game, but then we got that front four, and Jesus Christ. To anyone who honestly thinks that Jackson isn't good, like, look at where Chelsea are without him. I know he misses chances and whatever, but he has such a big box presence that they significantly missed today. Significantly missed. Yeah, because Nkunku, honestly, did you see him once? I'm being dead ass. Did you see Nkunku once in that game? Because I didn't. I did not see him once. The way that Enzo Maresca set up that front four was shocking. I mean, they obviously had Madueke on the right, Neto on the left. Madueke did get injured. He came off early for Sancho. And usually they'd have Cole Palmer operating in the 10, sitting behind the striker, and then they'd have Nicholas Jackson. But that didn't happen today. Because they didn't have that Nicholas Jackson as that box presence. They had Nkunku, and you were kind of seeing both Nkunku and Palmer try and play as a false nine. So it was kind of just, it's not like a normal front four where it's literally just, the three across the last line of the midfield and then one up top. No. They were genuinely all next to each other. And it was really, really weird because they weren't advanced nearly as high up the pitch as they should have. And that's why Chelsea's press suffered. Chelsea's press was awful today. They could not put any pressure on that Brighton defence. I thought that Van Hecke, Veltman, and who was the other one playing? Webster. I thought those three had the easiest job on the pitch. Van Hecke had, or was it Veltman? One of the Brighton centre-backs had the least amount of touches out of any player to play a full 90 with 33. I think it was Van Hecke. And he's a centre-back. Centre-backs are supposed to have more than 30 touches. But he literally had no pressure. Because Chelsea play such lethargic football that they literally sit on the ball all game and create nothing. Chelsea had 0 shots on target today. Their attack was so spineless. It's the exact same shit. First half, they were poor. I thought first half Chelsea were on the ball. They had a lot of possession, but they were super lethargic. They weren't able to create anything because there was no structure in that front line. They had no box presence. Their press was awful. Palmer had a poor game. Yeah, I'm not really going to slate Palmer because he's obviously their best player. And I've said this season that Palmer carries that Chelsea attack. And games like this prove that because Chelsea didn't score a goal against the Brighton team that has conceded more goals than any other Premier League team outside the bottom 5. Literally. The bottom 5 teams are the only teams that have conceded more goals this season than Brighton. And Chelsea, who was supposed to be the best attacking team in the league, weren't able to score against them. And goals have been a big problem. I've noticed with Chelsea that they have decent first halves. They go 1-0 up a lot. Today that didn't happen. Today they were just shocking from minute 1 to minute 90. Absolutely abysmal. No one is avoiding a cooking. And then at half-time, I was you should be expecting Maresca to make some changes. They didn't really have a striker on the team, so it would have been tough. But maybe, I don't know what they could have done. Maybe they could have taken off Cucurella, gone with a back 3, added an extra player to the attack, maybe shifted some players around, changed the system in some way. But in the second half, it was the same shit. It was the same boring, lethargic football, spineless attacking football. Chelsea created nothing. Like, even in other games where Chelsea have dropped points, it's more just been, they're really good in the first half, they go 1-0 up, they miss a ton of chances, and then the second half they just capitulate. That wasn't the story. They didn't create anything. They had no chances. They didn't deserve to score. It was literally just that Cole Palmer 1v1 that he absolutely shanked, by the way. He's like one of the best shooters in the Premier League, and he absolutely shat the bed with that one. Yeah, he just, I thought he had a shocker. I really did. But it's not all on him, because tell me one thing that Nkunku did. Tell me one thing that Neto did. Tell me one thing that Sancho did. Those three genuinely offered nothing. Nothing. I was honestly, I wasn't even shocked, to be honest, because I didn't think Chelsea would win. I thought it would be a draw. It's just because of Chelsea's away form, I didn't think they'd be able to get a result. But a performance like that, yeah, it's not good enough. And Chelsea fans are going to say, oh, we have a young squad. It's Maresca's first season, whatever. You have to make top four. You have to. Like, I don't know how these fans can have the aspirations that they had at the start of the season. Yeah, I was hearing title race. I know a lot of Chelsea fans were being quite humble. But there was a huge portion of them, and a lot of other people as well, that were expecting Chelsea to compete for the title. And we'll take a look at the table and the rest of the fixtures after this. But they were poor. And they have been for so long. Chelsea's form has been abysmal. Like, other than wins against Fulham and West Ham, they're winless in 8 games. Literally, 2 wins in 10 against Fulham and West Ham, who both occupy the bottom 5 teams in the Prem. And they were both home fixtures as well. Literally 2 of the easiest wins you'll get of the season. That's it. They've been so poor for the past 2 months. And you have to blame it on Maresca. I think, I honestly, I said this 2 months ago. Maresca is not a good manager. He's not fit for Chelsea. He underachieved with Leicester last season. I know they won the league, but he really wasn't great. And he has no ability to adapt. No ability to adapt. It's the same with Postecoglou. They're the same manager. Tottenham and Chelsea are just Plan A FC. They literally have nothing to do if Plan A doesn't work. You know, say what you want about Arteta and Arsenal. We've got different ways that we play. If we're not able to suffocate a team with chance creation, then we'll play defensive and have set pieces. Arsenal have different ways of approaching games. Chelsea don't have that. If their possession-based football isn't working, if their high line is getting cooked, their defense was the high line. Oh my god, it got exploited so many times. If that high line wasn't getting cooked, if that high line's still getting cooked, they can't change. They just play the same football and expect it to work. Maresca didn't make a tactical sub until after the third goal. Sorry, literally, he didn't make a tactical sub until after the third goal. When that second goal goes in, I'm making a sub. The fact that he didn't make any changes at half time, and Chelsea, I mean, they don't have the squad. Somehow they don't have the squad, despite the fact that they've spent so much money. I mean, let me bring up that Chelsea bench. Let's go bring up that Chelsea bench, right? Who did Chelsea have on the bench? They've spent £1 billion, by the way. How many injuries they got? They do actually have a fair few injuries, although a lot of these players aren't first teamers. Badiashile and Fofana, one of these two probably maybe starts. I mean, Lavia is good. Guiu and Jackson not having them is unfortunate. But I mean, look at that bench. I mean, maybe bring on Tyree. I don't know. I honestly would have taken off Jackson, played Palmer false 9, and then had Tyreek George. That's probably what I would have done. Did I say Jackson? I meant Nkunku. I would have taken off Nkunku and then brought on Tyreek George. But none of these subs moved me. I don't know why Reece James didn't start. No idea why Reece James didn't start. But yeah, like Nkunku played a full 90. Enzo played a full 90. I don't know why he took Caicedo off. That was kind of strange. Cucurella played a full 90. I didn't even mention the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper was not good. I mean, it's not like Sanchez where he's gifting the other team goals, but he didn't make a save, I don't think. I don't think he made a single save. Oh no, he made 3, okay. But he hadn't made a save at 2-0. So yeah, Chelsea, they're just not very good. And I've been telling people this all season. At the start of the season, I wrote Chelsea off for a title from day one. And I would say Chelsea have actually been better than I thought they would be. But just because I thought Chelsea were going to have a shambolic season doesn't mean that they're exceeding expectations, yeah? Because this team has to make top 4. I even would have told you this at the start of the season. I had Maresca getting sacked in December because I just didn't rate him. And they had a good start. But Chelsea fans, are you confident? It's one thing between actually not wanting to sack him just because you sack too many managers, but are you genuinely confident in Enzo Maresca? I'm not. I don't think you should be. I think he's a really poor. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's good enough for Chelsea. I really don't. But let's take a look at the Premier League. We'll take a look at the matches. Obviously, Arsenal play. Don't want to watch that game. I'll be on live on TikTok watching the Arsenal Leicester game and the Man City Newcastle game. I'll be watching both of those games live on TikTok. Fulham Forest could be a decent matchup. Forest United. Oh, sorry, not Forest. Spurs United is going to be the big one. But yeah, City Newcastle, Spurs United. Those are the two other major games. But let's look at the table. Chelsea had to win because now they're going to be out of the top four if we see a winner. And honestly, Chelsea fans might say, oh, we're praying for a draw. If you're praying for a draw, then that means that you are 1 point ahead of 6th. You are 1 point ahead of 6th. And Newcastle and City are both better teams than Chelsea. They are both absolutely better teams than Chelsea. So yeah, I don't know who Chelsea fans should be rooting for. I honestly think they should be rooting for City because Newcastle I can see sustaining the rest of the season in their current form, whilst I don't know if City have it in them. I mean, it's a good win for Brighton. They're now moved up to 8th. They've got an even goal difference, which is fucking atrocious. They've scored 38 goals, which I mean, no one below them has scored more goals than them, but it's the goals conceded. You know, the only other team that's conceded more than the lowest team in the table, the highest team in the table that's conceded more than that is West Ham. Literally, the bottom five. The bottom five are the teams that have conceded more goals than Brighton. So fair play to them for keeping a clean sheet. It's a massive, massive win. I don't see Brighton sustaining any kind of European push, really. Don't see how they can do it. They don't have the squad. I don't think that they've been as good as Villa. I don't think they've been as good as Bournemouth. Like, if you actually watch them, even though Villa have also had a poor season, I just think that they're a better team. But yeah, Brighton 3, Chelsea 0. What a game, honestly. Incredible. Chelsea, that's now 2 wins in 10. They haven't won an away fixture since the 8th of December when they beat Tottenham. That was over 2 months ago. That was the last time Chelsea won an away Premier League fixture. Incredible. And Brighton, I mean, they've broken a run of bad form with 2 wins against Chelsea. 5-1 on aggregate. And Chelsea only had 1 shot on target in both those games. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Go follow me on TikTok. The link is in my bio, so you can tune into all the lives. You can watch more content there. As I said, I'm trying to be more consistent on YouTube. It's just tough, you know. I don't get as much time to. Obviously, TikTok's way easier. But yes, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Twitter. Do all that stuff. All linked in my bio. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.